Hey, happy Saturday and welcome to another round of Shudder Saturday. And today we're going to be talking about a new Shudder anthology series that's currently streaming right now. And the show I'm talking about is called Slasher: Flesh and Blood. And you're probably thinking to yourself right now, wait a minute, isn't that show on Netflix too? And you would be correct. There are actually technically 4 seasons of this show. However, the first 3 seasons are only available on Netflix. However, these shows are not connected other than the producers and some of the same actors. The stories are not connected in any way. These are not the same characters. So if you haven't watched seasons 1 through 3, you can get away without even watching them in order to watch season 4. Now in Slasher Season 4, Flesh and Blood, we follow the Galloway family, and they're probably the richest, powerful, and most unlikable people you'll ever meet. They are a family of the most ruthless and selfish people. And the most ruthless of all is Mr. Galloway, played by horror icon David Cronenberg. It seems as Mr. Galloway has set up an annually tradition with the family, where it's almost like a competition, almost like an X Games, but for the family only. However, this time around, it is very different. The family members are competing for their inheritance, also including the family business. So all these unlikable family members are all competing in these X Games, or if you want to say these games were made up from Jigsaw, from Saw. However, this time around, whoever the loser is, there's a great possibility that the loser will die, which makes the pot of the inheritance even bigger. But if that pressure wasn't enough, you also have a deranged mass killer running around, killing off family members one by one after competition. So my initial reaction to this series, once I figured out that it was the same series just streaming on a different platform, my initial reaction was that it was a little slower in the beginning compared to the previous seasons, because in the previous slasher seasons there were, it kind of picks up right away and it kind of has like a lull moment maybe in the middle just so you could get some character development in there. And the characters in this show were not likable whatsoever, so you're kind of like waiting for them to die. And the fact that they're not dying right away, either when they're not competing in the games and dying, or when the slasher isn't actually killing them off, you're kind of stuck with them for a while, and it's kind of like you're more repulsed by them, and you're kind of just hoping they will die, but unfortunately it doesn't happen that quick. Luckily, by the time you get to episode 3 and 4, the pace starts picking up, and there's actually 1 or 2 characters that you're kind of like, okay, I guess I'll like you after all, because everyone else is a vomit. The kills, the special effects, makeup effects, the practical effects, all the blood work that they do is actually very well done. So when you do finally get someone dying on the camera, it's kind of worth the wait, because there is, like I said, a big lull moment in between all the kills. So when you do finally get to see all that special effects pay off, it's kind of worth the wait. If you've never seen this series before, definitely check it out. David Cronenberg is very good on the show. However, like everybody else, he's not very likable. And there are moments in the show where I was almost hoping he would pay some sort of homage to Dr. Decker, but unfortunately no. If you've never seen seasons 1 through 3, I definitely suggest checking them out on Netflix. They're definitely worth a watch. Like I said, they're not connected to each other at all. The killing and the special effects are actually very well done. The slasher makeup itself is actually very good. So it's definitely worth a watch. Well, thanks for tuning in for another Shudder Saturday. Hopefully you like what you see here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and I'll see you at the movies.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.